All right, now we're live. There's, they both keep 7. Caleb starts off with an underground C. It's TinFins versus Tezzerator. This is kind of a difficult matchup for TinFins because I believe Caleb's running 29 1-drops.
Can you screen share with me?
Oh, right. Minor detail. There you go. Now Julian can see it.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Also, you're a bit off frame, but I'm going to try and fix that.
Oh, I guess that's because my webcam is cutting. It has this face recognition technique that never really works.
Okay, now I just need to edit the size again. You know, bring out my cheat sheet. You can commentate on the match because I'm going to be
Okay,
doing
yeah.
this.
So this is the first game. Joe has a Chalice on one, which is like pretty back-breaking for Caleb. I think right now his best bet is to go to 8 cards and discard a Griselbrand and then find a Shallow Grave or Glorious Vengeance, both of which Joe is prepared for by having Force of Will and a blue pitch card. Like if he wants to get really cute, he can even like tap Griselbrand and what's the life total for Caleb? Well, then he could still draw cards, so you probably want to force the reanimation spell if it was to ever come. And yeah, so Joe also doesn't really have a whole lot going on, but Shadow seems good enough. And there's the Shadow Grave. So if Caleb can find another Shadow Grave, and yeah, that could work.
Yeah, so game 1, he doesn't really have a lot of answers to Chalice. His non 1-drops, he has Shallow Graves and the one from Mirage, whatever its name was.
That's Shadow Grave. You probably
Okay.
mean Glorious Vengeance?
Yep, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The modern one. So I believe his only out to Chalice on 1 this game is to discard Griselbrand to hand size and then Shallow Grave it, which he's in the midst of accomplishing.
So what does like Fade do for Joe? Probably nothing.
It pitches
Steal a
for
random
force
bonus
right
ever.
now.
Yeah, I guess that's what you want to pitch.
Yeah, it's blue for force. It'll help him dig for an actual win condition later on. He can use its ultimate and ice to start stealing permanents if he really wants. 10 turns from now.
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty cute tech. We haven't really seen Fire Ice in Legacy like in a long time. So Caleb's trying to go for it.
Yep, unfortunately, this Force of Will is going to stop him for the time being. And with a handful of 1-drops, it's not looking great, but another Goro's Vengeance off the top.
Yeah, he's got 7 outs, whereas Joe is drawing to do something.
Well, with this Chalice on 2, his out is
Yeah.
now Hardcast Griselbrand.
Does he have enough lands in his deck?
He, he does, but one's been wasted, and he's already used a Lotus Petal, so I think he's down to 17 sources.
And
So-
that's gonna do it.
We'll just go to sideboarding, and this is a little squished. I apologize for that. Didn't catch it in time. And there's nothing I can do about it because it's a pre-recording. I can't fix it on my end. So Caleb brings in 4 Monastery Mentors, which is, some neat new tech. It's one of the reasons he decided to run the deck is he really liked the Mentor plan. Joe does some stuff. He brings in a lot of like anti-combo cards, Trinisphere, Ensnaring Bridge, Lodestone Golem. Two Grafdigger's Cage.
Yeah, he doesn't bring in misdirection, mostly because you can't really misdirect Shallow Grave, which doesn't target, and Glorious Vengeance only targets legends, so you can't redirect it to Children of Collies.
Children is legendary.
Children is legendary?
I
I'm pretty
think-
sure it's not.
No, okay, it's not.
I actually played that deck. Okay. So he signs out of Wasteland, which I guess you can do. Caleb's deck is so explosive that Wastelanding probably sets you back more than it does him.
Yeah, the tempo isn't really. You don't want to be a tempo deck against a deck that tries to win on turn 1 or 2. Put it that way. Alright, so Caleb deciding whether or not he wants this Cabal Therapy for a Dark Ritual or not.
I read about it on Twitter that he also used to play Liliana of the Veil in the deck. So you could like Dark Ritual out a Liliana on the first turn, which would be like pretty good against 80% of the or even more of the format.
I believe that was on Reddit. Somebody saying he would like have to bring a knife or something if Caleb had Liliana in his board.
I totally want to see that. Someday.
Okay, so it looks like sideboarding is over. I'd imagine Caleb's on the play.
And Show's got a Graphic Cage in hand, so unless... Well, Caleb has discard.
Yep, double Thoughtseize. It's going to be able to strip this Cage and the Transmute before Joe's able to Transmute for anything. If this were a Talisman of whatever the blue-black one is called, Dominance, he would be able to Transmute away the Talisman for another 2-drop, maybe a Thopter Foundry if that's really where he wants to be. But since it's a Signet, he can't produce blue-blue, so he's likely going to lose that the next turn to Thoughtseize as well. Which, you know, stops him from transmuting for, like, Ensnaring Bridge or Trinisphere or something that Caleb actually does care about.
Yeah. So, what is he thinking about? Is he... he's taking the Cage.
Well, yeah, you kind of have to.
I think my webcam's a bit off screen again.
Yep. Yes, it is. Nope, that's the frame. That's why I don't like frames.
So Joe's just accelerating on the first turn, and Caleb is probably gonna strip away the Transmute artifact here, or is he going for something else? Oh, I guess he's trying to find something.
Yeah, in the way of combo, Caleb has an Entomb at the moment. As sideboard cards, he does play a Serenity, which I'd imagine is going to be very good against an artifact deck.
So what do you want to keep here? You definitely want to keep the Fetch Land, the Thoughtseize, the Entomb, the Brainstorm.
Yeah.
So
the
do you put away the Chromox?
The Chromox, I think, is a little better than a land because if you do find Gristlebrand and draw 14 cards, it gives you an extra mana source. And you have 3 lands in hand as it is.
Does he have a basic island? I guess it doesn't matter too much.
Well, I mean, he knows about the Wasteland. I don't believe he runs a basic island. I'm not sure. I can check his list.
I think you actually don't want a basic island in this deck. You already got Tundra. And if you open up on basic island and like the combo, it's so bad.
Well, bridge off the top for Joe.
That's how you do it.
Top decks are, you know, part of the premier skill magic.
I guess Children can still get in for 16 points of damage. Even Mentor, technically. Like, you could attack with Mentor and then pump it after attacks, as well as the tokens. But it's pretty good against the combo.
Yep. So I'm going to leave you on commentary for most of this because I just have to set up for round 3.
Yeah. So Caleb is going for probably Gristlebrand here, and I can't see which phase it is. I would think it's the end step of Joe. And he draws a Carbon Therapy. I guess he still knows about Mox Diamond, in case he wants to strip that away and get a look at the end. He names Mox Diamond, gets it. Plays the land and probably passes, yeah. And from the top again, Chalice of the Void, which should be really good for Joe here. Caleb has to probably like just brainstorm in response, and unless he finds land plus mentor, brainstorm lock himself. Like seriously.
And Joe has the option to chalice on 2 here, which seems to be what he's doing.
Yeah, that makes even more sense. Chats off like both of his important spells.
Well, he still has actual reanimate.
Yeah, but they usually don't run it as a 4-off, do they?
I think Caleb has 4 reanimate. I'm not 100% sure on that, but he definitely has like 7 shallow graves.
Oh. So I assume what you want to do here is Entomb to shuffle away the bad stuff of Brainstorm. And I'm somewhat surprised he didn't Entomb right away, because Joe could have drawn a Force of Her and played the land and used the Force of Her.
Yeah, I mean he entombed.
Could he? No, he couldn't. He didn't have double blue.
Looks like he entombed away a Cabal Therapy, which, you know, is admittedly not a card he wants to draw. Chalice on 2 also preventing Serenity from coming down.
Oh, Chalice on 2 is so good.
However, it also prevents Chalice on 1 from coming down.
But it doesn't stop his mentor. I really want to see a mentor here.
Yeah. So
I mean, there's still the Ensnaring Bridge problem, but I guess... no, Serenity can't be his only out to Ensnaring Bridge, is it?
I might as well check. I have his list available. He has a Chain of Vapor as well, which I believe was brought in.
Okay. Huh. So what's Joe gonna get here of the top 5? Another Chalice of the Void. Which inconveniently he can't set to 1 now. Because of the Chalice at 2.
He could play it on 3, or 0 is also a fine option. Because I don't think he knows about any 3 drops from...
I guess if he knew about the mentor, and Caleb draws the 0 from the top, unlucky. If he knew about the mentor, you might actually consider setting it to 3. I don't know how much it limits yourself, but otherwise I'd be very tempted to just set it to 3.
Yeah, so something Joe could have done here instead of plussing Tezzerator is he could have minused. Minus takes out Reanimate as an out. It puts Caleb to 7. And then if Caleb were able to... well, it looks like he's doing it now. If Caleb were able to get a Gristlebrand into play, he can no longer draw 7 cards. And he can't attack because of the Ensnaring Bridge. But it does take a Reanimate out as one of Caleb's ways to win.
Oh, Trinity is brutal here as well. I think at this point we're approaching 0 possibility for Caleb to get back into this game.
No, he agrees. Looking pretty dire.
Yeah.